right, welcome back once again. This is NewOaks AI Podcast. I'm your host, Leland Best from Best Studios LLC, along with my good guest, if I point in the right direction, Ray Luan, CEO of NewOaks AI. How you doing today, Ray?
Good. How are you, Leland?
I'm okay. We had a really wild experience this week, though. I don't know if you caught it or not. I've been off the grid for the last couple of days because we had sheer winds come through here in Michigan at about 90 miles an hour on Sunday, which caused a lot of damage. Our power was out for 2 days. And if you saw anything about Gaylord, Michigan, which is to the north. So if you put us on a map, we look like this. So I'm located somewhere in this area right here, but Gaylord, Michigan is up here near the top of the mitten. They were hit with an ice storm at the same time from the same front that tracked through the entire state. They have, it's insane. It looks like a war zone. All the power poles are down, literally at intersections. There are vehicles stuck in intersections with hot power lines laying on top of the vehicles still. So there's a no tread zone right now all through Gaylord, Michigan. You cannot leave your house because there's so many electrical lines down throughout the city. So if you're out in Gaylord, please stay in your home. Just be safe. But yeah, it was quite an experience. My wife and I actually got under the house Sunday night because we were in fear of what was coming. It was pretty fast and furious. Tornado sirens were going off and everything right in town. So we did what was right. Got underneath the house. So, but let's go outside.
You get backup power?
No, I don't. That was the problem. Our neighbor has a nice little natural gas generator. What I'll be looking at is a nat gas generator with a Tesla battery for sure. That's what we need over here. Do you have any?
Right. So Tesla battery could be better. Yeah.
Well, the way they do them now is
not yet.
Yeah, just got to charge them. That's all.
The power wall, right? Yeah, you should get the Tesla battery power wall as a backup battery. I think that's probably a better idea.
It's always, well, it would at least be able to charge it with the electric feed, but then if it's an extended period of time, you'd want to recharge those batteries. And here where we're at, we find the best type of generator is a natural gas generator. So we see a lot of those attached to houses over there. Because there's a lot of natural gas here in Michigan, so it's a lower cost type of fuel source here in our state. So it just works out better.
It makes more sense. It does make more sense.
Okay, so let's move on, Ray. We got only a few things to cover news-wise. Not a lot. I mean, there's things happening every day, but I think there's been a big shift, Ray, in the models that the LLMs and the way that they're accessing data. So let's talk about MCP, Model Context Protocol. It was brought on by Anthropic when Claude 3.7 was announced, correct? They brought this open source process to the table. So what is MCP, Ray? And is it going to make an effect to the stuff you're building? Tell us how you're considering this process in the future.
Sure. So my understanding MCP is, Model Context Protocol. It's just a way for large language model like Claude or OpenAI to call third-party data, to use third-party data or tool, right? It's actually a unified data or program format so that everybody's product agent can be connected to either Claude or OpenAI as a module for the large language model to call. So, I think the biggest news, I think, is OpenAI actually adopts MCP, which is surprising because they're rivals, right? Competitors. But I think that's a moment of HTTP for internet. It means that for this year, all of our AI startup owners' product can be used as a function or a module for like Claude or OpenAI. Literally, it's a unified interface to the AI model so that AI can call our product as a built-in tool, right? To be used for anyone and so also our data.
So it opens up
So
really any
yeah,
app to be a plug-in tool for an AI agent is really what we're looking at as a layer on top of the LLM, a feature set that an agent can
yep,
use, whether it's a calendar, whether it's a survey app, it could be anything really, couldn't it? You could plug in as long as it's given
yes,
MCP protocol on the SDK end, then it's something that could be used. I heard active pieces, which is very similar to Zapier in the way that it's built. It's a vertical workflow generator. And like GHL has a very similar builder inside of it as well. They just announced 2 days ago that every one of their nodes is going to have MCP capabilities. So that's pretty cool when I hear stuff like that, where these open
yeah.
source platforms are opening up MCP across the board. How's it going to affect some of your products, right? What do you see that doing to NewOaks
Well,
or?
I think at some point, okay, first of all, I think there's already 160 MCP servers built by the third-party apps. Even I just checked the MCP server list yesterday. Even Airbnb is on MCP, which means that the large language model, if you use Claude in the future, you can pull out Airbnb's property list
Yeah.
and display
Okay.
on your website or your AI.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so Airbnb, Perplexity, a lot of famous apps has been building their MCP server. So obviously, NewOaks, we probably will do that as too at some point, but not yet in a hurry. I think it takes time for the MCP to become mature, and also it opened up another opportunity at the traffic. It's
Mm-hmm.
like OpenAI has GPT store, and then Cloud has MCP tools, right?
Gotcha.
Which means that if I list our product into Cloud MCP tools, there are a lot of like free traffic will come to my website
Gotcha.
or call our API right through MCP. So
Mm-hmm.
it opened up another door for organic traffic and more customers, right?
That's pretty interesting. And if you go to the Anthropic website, which I was just sharing a few moments ago, I'll give you guys an idea where you can find what Ray
Yeah.
was just talking about. If you just scroll down a little bit under the model context protocol, you can find the open source repository for MCP servers here. And this is a GitHub repository for anything you might want to find. So if you want to head out here, you'll find all the reference servers that are available for start. This is really just Anthropic's way of working with the community and helping some of these other apps. Like some of them are big players. You're talking Google Maps, Google Drive, GitLab, GitHub, PostgreSQL, and Puppeteer, along with Redis and Sentry. So you start adding these apps as back-end tools that you have full access to this feature set. It makes it a lot easier to connect these to agents than it was before, because we were having to actually kind of build out that entire structure to help them connect and do the tools and access the feature sets that we needed from these apps. So this has really changed the game for a lot of us that are building agents. So do you see this as being the final evolution of how we're going to build these agents, Ray, or is this just another stepping stone to something else? It seems like each process was a stepping stone. And now we're to a point where we've changed the name, we've changed the game. It's a whole different process. Do you think this will move us forward toward AGI, or is this just, again, another step in the process?
Yeah, I think it's a game changer because which means that more and more. Well, previously the biggest challenge for independent agent, like either it doesn't matter it's NewOaks AI or Perplexity, because the data format and also the API interface is not unified, so which create a lot of barrier for other business owners to use our product as a third-party tool, right? But with that MCP in place, implemented for OpenAI and Cloud, I think more and more large language model will join the game, which means that all the AI agents will be intertwined and connected, just like internet, and which
I get
means
it.
that AI internet is going to be in place. So I think it's a big move. It's part of the AGI. because I think more and more startups will start build their own agents and will be called by any large language models, which means that the diversity of the products is going to be a lot much more than what I have today.
Now, does this open up a
So I
front?
think it's part.
Well, does it open up possibilities for bad players? I mean, what are the security measures that are being put in place for stuff like this would be my first question, of course, as someone who works on back-end IT infrastructure with the guys I hang with. So it is one of those things that, you know, if we're allowing all of this open API access to all of these tools that people are building, how do we know when a tool's not going to be malicious? How do we know when a tool's not just a tool and it's got more to it than we think? So I think there's going to have to be some sense of how do we control the repository? You know, we've got this huge list of names coming up and people see a link, they just click on it. We know that. It happens all the time. But how do we know is the question, I guess. And we'll have to get into that in another discussion, Ray. I just want to mention Step Ahead Web is hanging out with us today on YouTube. So thanks for coming by, Step Ahead. We do appreciate it. Tell us a little bit about how you're using NewOaks or EZsite.AI, which is something we're going to be talking about here in just a moment. But before we do, we wanted to talk about GPT-4o's latest little add to the image generation process, Ray. Tell us a little bit about the Ghibli-style image model.
Yeah, 2 days ago, Sam Altman just announced that GPT-4o released a new image model, which is kind of like mid-journey competitor. So what gets popular is that a lot of people start to use GPT-4o to generate Ghibli-style images, right? So, and the server almost was down by the traffic overload, because everybody is generating Ghibli-style images, and statistics data Sam Altman announced is that it used to take GPT to get 5 million users for a week, and for the release of Ghibli-style image generator, GPT got 5 million users within 1 hour, which is crazy. Means that is so popular. Yeah.
Wow.
And even better, well, even better, there's another. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I want people to understand, because we're talking Ghibli, and they're like, what is Ghibli? Nobody knows what that is. This is an image of myself that you may see on my Facebook profile. I'm going to show you an example of a Ghibli that I did using the Bonkers app inside Merlin AI, and this is what you get. So if you slide it across, you're going to see the image, which is an anime style. Okay, it's an artist last name. Am I wrong? The Ghibli style is a type of anime that was done by a particular artist by that name. Am I right? Or is it?
It's a particular studio. Ghibli is a studio. The name of the studio. Yeah.
Okay, so that's why they use the term Studio Ghibli within the context of the prompt that you use. So let's go to my OpenAI app real quick, which I also have available here real quick, and we'll see what that same image produced using OpenAI's new. Oh wow, what a difference! So you can see there. Open? Do you see it? Do you see how the Sam Altman version looks versus the other version that I made using my own app, which was one little similar? So very different outputs from what I can see. But obviously there's something trendy about Ghibli. They seem to love that anime style. Me, I'm not big in anime, but it seems to be the way. So 5 million users 1 hour, I wouldn't complain.
Right. There's a lot of copycat of Ghibli image generator. There's one actually ranked #1 on iOS app, just purely copy and paste. Same feature, same functionality, and they even charge you like $5 per image, but still get very popular. So it proves the power of the memes, right? Of Ghibli style image memes.
Okay, so the real reason we wanted to bring you guys here is to tell you a little bit about the NewOaks AI feature updates, which looks like we've got integrations with Groq 2's API.
Yep.
Ultra fast AI processing. So how's that going to be a game changer over there? What's that going to be best for, right?
Right. So Groq 2, Groq did a lot of updates, so we just kind of like make our app more give it more integration with different large language models. I think Groq is good at also programming, coding, and writing. So we haven't give a fully testing yet. But I think in the future, all different AI models like Gemini is good at coding and image generation. And Claude is good at coding, but OpenAI is good at train of thoughts and general model, right? In terms multi-module, like it has audio. So the key is that we allow our users to use different models to for different specific business application they are building. So that's the point. Yeah.
And just to find that, folks, if you're going to look for where you can select the models within your account, you're going to want to head over to the settings tab under general. And if you scroll down, you're going to find the model setting where your prompt templates are. And if you find the drop down, you're going to be able to see here where you can select from any of the various models that Ray has included into the build. And these new ones will be showing up here in the drop down as they're made available. So good stuff. Gotta love it. Merging the servers. Also on that same page, just so you know what I'm talking about, up in the upper left near the name NewOaks AI, you'll see a drop down for global and EU, which is to remain GDPR compliant. Ray has established a global server in the EU and another here in the US for those, or I'm sorry, the global's US and the EU's the GDPR compliant. So tell us what's happening with the merger, Ray.
So we are going to move the EU server back to the global server to combine them together, just to reduce the maintenance cost and also make the global server GDPR compliant, so that we all use the same server and it's safe and easier to maintain.
And then introducing the OpenRouter feature. For those who are not familiar with OpenRouter, OpenRouter is an application that was brought to the table a while back that allows people to gain access to various API connections on all kinds of models, LLM models in general, where they can access them from the back end for automations or prompt generations, things of that sort. So this is kind of a big deal. We're not only going to have access to various models within NewOaks, but also kind of a hub to get to all the rest, right? Is what it comes down to.
Yeah, so OpenRouter feature literally just, you need only one API key. With that API key, you can access, DeepSeek, Claude, OpenAI's model, GPT model, and also Gemini or European's Mistral, and even Groq. So one for all. It's easier to maintain. It's also easier to access the models and even resell the API tokens for agency owners.
Yeah, that's a good point, because you could use one of the free models over there if you wanted to as well. And if you're charging for a service for somebody, a lot of people don't realize, just because you're getting your tokens for free, which if you're not aware, OpenAI, as of the month of April, for the next 10 days that I'm aware of, if you allow OpenAI to train off of your prompt data and any resulting outputs that you create using their app for the next 10 days, they will give you like 2.5 million tokens for free to just throw at the system and start playing with it. So if you're that type that's not concerned with your privacy at this point, playing with these apps, go ahead and open OpenAI and fire one up and see if that's something that you could. It's a couple of switches on the back end of the API account. And if you just set the switch to allow them to take a look at the prompts that you're generating in the app, then they'll give you all kinds of free tokens for the next 10 days. So we're utilizing them here just because it's convenient. Lets us not have to spend the money to train AI. So it's not a bad trade-off when you think about it. All right, Ray, let's get over to the big talk. EZsite. Tell us what's going on over there. A lot of improvements I hear. So let's do a rundown. Let's take them through it and see what we can show them.
Yeah. So EZsite is our latest product, which is using autonomous coding to generate a AI website builder specifically for a lot of non-coding background business owners to either build their own official website or landing pages, or even some portfolio pages, even games for super casual games. So the idea is to allow anyone with no coding background to use one prompt to turn your idea into a profitable apps within one click. Okay.
So you have popular prompts here, and they look pretty I mean, this is a SaaS website for a startup. Is it
Yeah.
that general of a prompt that someone would use to build an app like this? Or do we kind of want to spend a little time? And I'm just going to ask up front before I drop a prompt in here. How much data does the app need to create something beneficial? Like literally a single sentence, or should the
Yeah.
thought be
I think
more wired up?
so. The first step is that if you want to build a customized app, you want to describe it in one sentence first, and then
Okay.
refine it in the different rounds. So that's how you can do it. If you don't care about the unique features or customization, you can just use one generic prompt to build it out. It's really
Okay.
up to your personal requirements.
So what if you were to build a really big prompt up front? What would it do if you were to explain exactly everything you needed for this app to do? Would it be more beneficial, or could it actually be a detriment to what you're trying to do? I'm just curious. Has
Yeah,
anyone
I would.
tried that?
Yeah,
Getting
so
big prompts.
yeah, if you want to build a very complicated prompt, for example, if you want to build Amazon.com, right? Something like
Okay.
Amazon.com,
Sure.
it's not going to work right away because
No.
I think the best way is to describe your prompt as specific as it is, and
Okay.
then create a front end of it, because we also offer built-in database and
Okay.
also integration with Supabase, which means that you can also build your backend, which allow you to upload the files, your data files or PDF files or even image or video files, right? And you can also we have a mini CRM built in so that you can
I
store your
see.
leads data and everything. So I would say use one prompt, build and refine your front end first,
Okay.
and then use different prompt to follow up to build in your backend database or CRMs, so that make it a a full stack app with registration module and also payment module with
Oh,
Stripes.
wow. Really? Now that's
Yeah,
really cool. So I'm going to head over here for just a second and taking
yeah,
Ray's advice. I just want a simple dashboard for my SaaS app, which is a CRM. So I'm
yeah,
just going to say I would like to build a dashboard, right?
yeah,
So if I'm going to build a dashboard, I mean, we're going to do this quickly because we only have 5 minutes left here. I'd
yeah,
like to build a dashboard app for my SaaS product, and or SaaS CRM, let's say, which
yeah.
includes automations. Okay. And I want to be able to track all of their progress, their operations, let's
Right,
say.
right.
And
Just
just
make
see
it
what it
easier.
let's just see what it starts, okay? And we'll
Yeah.
generate the free
Okay.
website and see what happens. So how long does this normally take? Just a couple of minutes, you said, Ray? And it'll
Yeah,
have something started,
you
or
generally it depends on how complicated it
okay.
generally takes you 1 or 2 minutes to get your first version of your website, and then you can refine it with your follow-up prompt.
Oh, I see. So it just keeps generating content in the side window as you. All right, here it
Yeah.
comes. It's coming up right now. So we're seeing it coding the front end of the app. It's creating the index HTML file, which is the front
Yeah.
facing UI page that most people land on when they go to a website. And then it's
Yeah.
building out the CSS data. So it's setting up some background, some fills, some borders. It's also building out the dashboard CSS. So colors and frames and bar charts and things of that nature, I'm sure, and then a
Yeah.
few more steps as it goes. Now, this is similar. Then I've played around with Bolt.new, and I've played around with a couple of the other apps
Mhm.
that are out there, Lovable, and like, there are several now
Yeah.
out there. So, how would you say yours compares to Lovable, Ray? Is it very similar in nature, much different in nature, or way off base? What's the differences?
Yeah. So there are two major difference. One is Labo is mainly for developers. I think there are two. Labo is very mature app,
Hmm.
but it takes some coding skills to really make it work. So
Yes,
we
sure.
adopt different route. Our target audience is business owners with no coding background. So
Gotcha.
you do not need to any coding to build. Literally, you can build any app with a prompt, and also we provide a built-in database, which Lovable only give you an integration with Supabase, which is another open source database, which needs much coding skills or background to really understand it. So we provide, we do both front end and also back end capability.
It's still going. I just wanted to verify. Yeah, right now it's doing date and time JavaScript. It's got charts. It's being put together. It's got the API that it's building on the back end. So, yeah, there's a lot taking place here. And as we all know, Anthropic CEO just recently announced within 2 years, there aren't going to be any junior coders anymore. There's going to be some senior coders hanging around supervising AI coders is basically what they're saying. So, and there are others agreeing with them across the board. So Ray's just proven that's very possible to be done. And I can only see this. So what do you see the advancement stages of this app being as it moves ahead and continues to grow? What do you think the next evolutionary step of EZsite might be? Is there anything in your thought on that?
So the next step is that we're going to make EZsite a super app factory. So we're going to build our future product out of EZsite. Gotcha. With no need for any actual software engineers or developers, just as the CEO of Claude Anthropic said.
I like it. I like it. That's a good way to go. I mean, if somebody tells you the future is here and you see the way to apply it, do so. I mean, that's what people make ideas for, so that someone will go out and implement them. It's not always the person who comes up with the idea that solves the problem. It's just that is what community efforts are about. That's what networking is for. That's why we do what we do. And I think that's a lot of the reason why Anthropic and OpenAI are starting to open that door to shake hands and say, look, this does have to be, if we want to take aim at what's happening with China, and I'm not saying this in a negative light, it's just the fact that the competition now is so stiff between the US and China with who's leading the pack with the faster LMs or the bigger LMs or what have you. There's got to be some type of cohesion between these units, whether it's, I'd hate to see a Chinese versus US play. I think that's stupid. It's just, it's not necessary. It's something that should be a benefit to all humanity. It should not be something that we're fighting over intelligence on. It's let's make everybody smarter. Let's make everybody more useful. Let's make everybody's ideas come to light, come to reality, instead of messing around with this garbage. So what do you think, Ray? Is it ever going to happen that way? Do you think we're ever going to find a middle ground? Are we on the right track, or is AI going to be a contentional area from here on out for everybody? Just give us your oversight and we'll wrap it up for today.
Yeah, I think it's good for humanity. The competition between like DeepSeek and other large language models, I think eventually it will be beneficial for humans, right? Regarding to the different states or nationalities, I think there's no state or boundaries when it comes to technology. So I think it will become beneficial for all human species.
I agree. I agree. All right. Well, I wish we could have finalized the product here, and we may be able to. We got a couple minutes left, Ray, but it looks like it's down to actually creating the automation cards and the charts for the output. So when we come back next week, which I'm sure we may start thinning these out, Ray. I don't know what your thoughts on this are. I know your accomplishments at NewOaks have been significant. I don't know how much farther you can push an app like NewOaks at this time and present, but I'm sure we'll continue to develop this podcast as something that shows what technology is capable of, what AI is going to do for us in the future, and how we're going to take those steps to make it work. We'll be back next Tuesday, 9 p.m. as always. But I think as time progresses, the NewOaks AI podcast may kind of open up to more thought, more features, more things. Oh, there it goes. Oh, it says that the site can't be reached right now. So something's going on. It looks like it's, it's still cranking. No, it's still going. Must just be a little internet bump in the road. So, Ray, we'll see you next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Thanks so much for being here, as you always are. So check us out on YouTube. NewOaks AI is where you'll find us, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time now through the rest of summer. You'll find us out here doing our thing. Go join the NewOaks AI community on Facebook and be sure to ring that bell so you get notified each time we go live. Ray, thanks a lot. We'll see you next time. Take care.
See you next week. Bye-bye. Take care.